is our love coach, and today we're looking at relationship stresses for millennials when dating becomes a threat to your mental health. Pastor Simba, good morning.
Good morning, Vic, and how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, we're doing good, and the weather is just perfect.
Oh, it's perfect, right?
Yeah, you can't ask for more. That's what we want.
That's true. Mm-hmm. Mamshona Champions League.
Of course. Asikona masokuchuka. Tesina pressure. Bozi sisuteta kabuda zvedu saka tesina pressure techingona vamwe.
Atina kana pressure kokuchke.
Atina kana pressure.
So let's get into it. What are we talking about today?
Yes. So hopefully by God's grace I want to be talking to the millennials more in the next few weeks that are to come, because most of the problems that we're facing, especially when you look at the traffic to counseling sessions, it's more of millennials coming with their issues. So we want to address the issues that millennials face. So we'll describe with my millennials, and also the unique challenges that they face in as far as relationships are concerned. Because we relate with other people because of certain traits that we find in our generation. My baby boomers, they have a certain way of relating. My generation X, 3 Gen X, and there's also Generation Y, which is millennials, and there's also Generation Z. There's also the one that's coming after that one, the Generation Alpha, and also there's going to be Generation Beta and all that. So we need to understand, Kuti, how do these people who are coming from these specific generations relate, in as far as marriage and relationships is concerned, because they are affected by whatever developments are happening in their generations. So, pamwepache, you don't understand a person until you begin to also look at the trends in that particular generation. For instance, if you're a Gen X person like me, and you have to give advice, a person who's a Gen Z or Gen Z as they call them, you need to understand which generation you because but it's not applying anymore to that particular generation that you are trying to help. So you need to go and maybe try to get into their feet, like we always say. Also try to empathize with that particular person, try to understand their way of thinking, how they're thinking like that, what is happening in their generation, so that you can help them effectively. Because I know a lot of parents, they don't understand my dynamics, a generation and no, let's withdraw my gadgets and all that. Yes, emotionally you can do that and withdraw the gadgets, but does that solve the problem? No. You just need to understand that particular generation and you deal with that child according to your understanding of that generation. What are the issues that they are facing? So you need to also understand that. And this particular generation that we're talking about, ndio rikuda kupina marriage, kan ndio chango pina marriage, ndio another my millennials, those that were born from 1981 up to 1996, 28 to 42 years there. Those are your Generation Y, your millennials. One is my Generation Y or millennials. So they've got specific challenges that they face. Gen X, like I said, isusu area edu nde kana uti time ida takazvarwa isusu 1965 up to 1980. So that's your Generation X. And Generation Y, like I said, 1981 up to 96. Then there's also then there's also 96 to 2012. That's Generation Z. Relationships, so we also need to address them. So millennials, because their problems are almost similar. So they face unique problems, largely because of the coming of technology. Technology has actually affected them. It's also affected any technology when we're starting out, because we didn't have smartphones. But this generation, they have smartphones and they are connecting, new technology, and it's the same technology that is also causing them to disconnect. That's why you find there's now issues, the infidelity, zanyanya in this generation, because it's easy to connect and it's also easy again to disconnect. That's the reason why we also have a high divorce rate, because of technology. Not saying good technology is the cause, but it's actually an enabler. It enables it actually facilitates all these things. So it's important for us to address the unique challenges that this particular generation faces. So I call them, because particularly today I'm talking about dating. So all the singles, please gather here. We're talking about dating. So I call them dating hazards. These are challenges that are...
Panis a single and I'm studio.
Yeah.
All the singles gather here. It's our time to shine.
So want to look at the stressors. I know they're in stress. You know, when you sit down with a single person, I've been married for 25 years. I've not gone through all this. And this person has been dating for just 1 year and they've gone through all this. So this generation is facing a lot of stressors. That's why Isusu Generation X, we also need to understand them, what they're going through. Pampacho, we expect a lot from them, but we see going through a lot. For instance, as a parent, I'm equally worried about having vazukuru. I'm worried about vazukuru here, you know, but I don't understand the dynamics. The dating scene that they find themselves in is different from our times. We would date for 6 months, 8 months, Shatopera. Pampacho would not even date. But for now, now the dating scene weekend is actually a hard hit area. You know,
dating scene, I know.
Yeah. So Isusu Mama, older generations, we actually need to understand. Post Pampachu not data for 5 years, and you don't understand why data for 5 years, why not get married? You know, what's happening? We need to understand the challenges. You know, by the way, dating for 5 years, it's not, I don't recommend that weekend.
Same.
I don't. If I don't get presidential term.
Nay,
presidential term, 5 years.
Pastor Simba, if there is a girl, because normally, you know, it's a guy who initiates.
Yes.
So he has not made his decision and he's wasting your time.
Exactly.
He's not sure. What's the maximum for you?
For me, of course, I'll come and talk about this another time because I want to talk
just
about the dating seasons.
No, I want to hear for you,
okay.
just in passing.
For me,
what's normal?
I think a year is enough. And a year is enough. A year and a half and all that. Because there are what we call dating. When I know about dating seasons, I will come and talk about those later on. Okay. What happens in that dating? You go through 4 seasons. The first season, the second, the third, and the fourth, what happens in there. So we'll talk about that on another day. But it's important for us to understand the stress that this brings, you know, to the generation that we're calling the millennials, the dating scene, the changes that have taken place over the years. So number one area that I think, or rather a stressor for most of them, number one is catfishing. I want to talk about these terms. I'm sure you've seen them being thrown around loosely. I can go to the definition and also try to describe what happens, what we are calling, what is it that we're calling catfishing. Because of technology, we have many people that are now falsely advertising. You know, when you see pictures on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, don't conclude that that person is exactly what you are seeing them in real life. You know, it's not like that. It is called catfishing because people are now trying to package them in a way that, you know, causes them to be more attractive. And this is actually not the true picture. When you meet that person in person, you'll be disappointed. That's another stress again. I've heard many stories, you know, dating online, and only for them to be disappointed on their first date, like the physical date. You meet that person, you see, you know what, the person that they sold to me is not the one that I'm having here.
Yeah.
This is not what I signed up for.
I don't know, those who then actually go on to get married. For some, representer.
Yeah. So the point is that there are many people that are creating false identities out there in order to lure people into relationships. So if you are a millennial, you need to be aware of that. This is happening. This is actually on the rise. A lot of people are falsely advertising. The person that you're seeing per social media might not be the person are portrayed. So it's very important for you to also take some time to learn the person, get to meet physically, get to understand them more, better. That's why if you're dating online, you've got to be very careful. You need to be very intentional about, coming up with ways of meeting physically so that you can get to learn the person that you are dating, because you need to observe their non-verbal communication, because per social media we don't show all that. Yet non-verbal communication actually takes up about 55% of our entire conversation process. So it's very important for us to actually maintain the traditional dating. It is very important. Kwete ungolisiya zvese pa social media. Unenge uchingoti wa catfished ipapo. So it's very important for you to actually come up with moments where you meet. Don't just say yes to a person waongoona on social media. Take some time so that you get to know the person, because catfishing is real. Then number 2, there's what we call orbiting. This is also a stressor, particularly for your gender weekend. Orbiting, it just means good to but they are not, coming out in the open that they're interested in you. They're just orbiting around you. And they are there in your circle. If you post something they like, they comment, and you're left out confused. Is this person coming for me or not? So a lot of people,
it's real, hey, orbiting.
Yes, yeah. A lot of people have actually been in that situation for years. Having people around them who are actually orbiting them, and they've not even come out with their intentions. I intend to date you or something like that. So this is one thing that also stresses a lot of people, particularly ladies. A lot of ladies come to us and they're like confused. Pastor, I don't know what to do. This guy, Antanga, interested in me, I'm not sure. I'm also confused. Should I ask him? I don't know what to do. It's called orbiting. So please, let's watch out for that. That can also be something that actually brings a lot of stress on our young people, our millennials, our single people. Then number 3, there's what is called benching. Benching is very, very common. Kubora kasoba bench unongara pa saba nditi wangogara wangomira your turn to play in the field of play, and pamupacho unogona kutospenda season yese usina kutombosika bhora, usina kutombopinda mustadium kutamba bhora, wakangogara pa bench, and you find that a lot of millennials also find themselves in that situation where, yes, officially you are dating that person, but it seems good you are a standby generator, so to speak. They've got other people that they are pursuing. They've other people that they are interested in you. They've kept you, around.
Oh, I've seen that happening. Yeah. They're just keeping a person around, but then like other things as
the benching.
Oh, it has a name.
Yes, kugasoba bench. And and that's one of the biggest lies that a lot of ladies have fallen for.
Yeah.
We're actually in the process of divorce. I'm in the process of divorce.
It's a lie.
Please allow me to repeat that again.
Yes.
Wait until they're done. Wait until the divorce has been granted for you to be certain. As long as someone is saying we're in the process of divorce, we have issues that we're trying to that we're struggling with. So be careful. You're actually on the bench. You are actually a standby generator. Whenever that person is not happy with their person and they're in a bad space, that person comes to you and they want you to then, come into the field of play. You actually wait for the main player injury for you to actually be considered.
Shame.
Shame. You can say that again. So please refuse, for your own mental health sake. Refuse to be benched.
For mental health.
Be upfront and ask him or ask her, Shamar, I don't want to be played. I don't want, if I'm not your person, please, I don't want you to waste my time, and I don't want to waste your time either. So this is actually a trendy mind game. You're benching you, it's there. Muna akurambi outrightly kuti Shamara chada. Anongo kuisa page kuti, what, you stay there is their option, and it's not right. It's not right. We mustn't do that. That's why it's important that when you're dating, please be clear as to your timeline. Could the timeline say these are things that you discuss when you're dating, because a lot of people don't know what to discuss.
And ukatona muna achita problem, like I've said, with you discussing timelines, then they are not really ready for you, and they're not ready for settling and for marriage, because a normal person would not have a problem in discussing timelines to say, tuzokamira say.
Exactly. Ukanachiramba timeline could discuss the timeline, then definitely you're being benched. Murupa bench. So watch out for that. Then number 4, kunenonzi breadcrumbing. Unongo poa tuma fufu so kuti ugare uri pedyo. you know, it's not enough that you're getting. I wouldn't call that person a blesser, because they're not giving you enough anyway. They're just giving you just so little so that you keep on coming back again.
Because you're hoping that one day
yeah. So you find that this person does not want to give you, or they don't want to commit. So they would rather give you to mafufu turambo ungori page kuipapo. Vaskuda ka meaningful connection ka vada tungoramba ungoripo, so that they keep their options clear. So what they would have done is they would have stashed you or pocketed you. Vakusa muomwe. Akuna kwa kuenda. Waiswa muomwe. I think the okutaura vanozita ujikira musaga. I'm sure that's what it means. It's called breadcrumbing. Kungopuwa tunto kuti ungoramba ungori page ko. But akuna kwa kuenda. It's going to be another presidential term again. 5 years. Just surviving on those crumbs and nothing is happening.
And then after that, you're like, oh my God, I wasted time.
I wasted time. That's why the other day, weekend, I said, you know what, I would really want our women to be empowered. I think women have not been empowered enough if we are not at a place where they can make decisions regarding relationships. Where a woman can actually say, please tell me, do you want to marry me or not? I was thinking we should get married. I want our women to get to that place where they can also say it, put it out there, you know, to be upfront. Inandoni zvakaipa. Uno waste time yako angomira tu mnachapopa question. Kana iringi runeza kutenga ndogona kubatsira to shopa tese ndokudza ndonyatsoda zvisanetsa zvinizvi. Nsandaona ring yacho antombozidza kutenga kupi. I'm here, I can help you. Let's do it. Then there's another trend again that is also common. It's a mind game that is being played by millennials, and it's so hazardous. It can actually send you to Hameno. You don't know to far. It's called ghosting. Ghosting. I'm sure you've heard of ghosting.
May that never be a potion. It's kutongo disappear just like that.
Kutongo nyangarika just like that. You know, you start off online, you're chatting with this person, right, and then from nowhere, achabatika. It's called ghosting, and that can actually, you know, drive you to depression. And I've met a number of young people, singles, that are actually in depression because they've been ghosted. So this goes also to our Generation X guys, our baby boomers. Let's understand what these millennials are going through. Ukaona mnari depressed, depressed, and you try to understand what are they going through. They could be going through ghosting. There's someone probably that left them. So am I not good enough? You know, your confidence goes down. A lot of things will go through your mind, and before you know it, depression, and mentally you are disturbed as well. Saka, ghosting is real. You know, people will just stop responding to your messages, pasina kana explanation, you know, suddenly disappear. Things like that. Disappearing into thin air. And it's a form, from where we are as counselors, it's a form of emotional torture or emotional cruelty, abuse.
Cruelty, that's cruelty, that's it.
Then the next one, that is also closely linked to that. We call it, you know, being zombied. Taken from the word zombie. Could the very person, Vikendi, who ghosted you, after 2 years or 3 years, they then feature.
They're back.
I'm back.
Hey, baby.
And then you just you take them, you know, you accept them back. I'm telling you, there's also torture that is associated with that. Because you're thinking, what if this person ghosts me again? And you're actually dating a zombie. If you're dating someone who's with you today, and then they disappear for months, and then they're back again, you accept them, then they do the same thing. Don't accept
those people, please, man.
They are zombies. And you know what? You're just living with this fear in your mind. One day they'll leave me again. And anything can actually trigger you. We talk of triggers. You've got trauma that you experienced because of that ghosting incident, and you've got them back. I can go in there for one day. If they are not available online for a few hours, then that becomes a trigger, and it actually, you know, causes some damage on you mentally. So you end up stressing mentally. It becomes a relationship stressor because you are being zombied. Zvine trauma mukati. Then the probably the last one because of time. There's what is called love bombing. It's called, being bombarded by love, right, left, and center, and we like it, and we think it's good when you're being gifted every day of your life. There's a gift. There's this. We want to go see Victor, and things are just nice and all that. But I tell you, there are some people that are actually playing a psychological game on you because they are making you dependent on them. They are taking away your independence unknowingly because they want to control you. There are some people who are like that. I'm not saying to Mnesanpama gifts they think like that. No. There are some that can actually use that as a form of abusing. It's called love bombing. I'm sure we once spoke about this sometime where we were speaking about obsessive love.
Yes.
Too much of everything. Too much of everything weekend is just bad. If you put a lot of sugar in your tea, you spoil the tea, isn't it?
True.
And the same applies in a relationship. So it's there, and watch out for all those compliments, that affection. With some people, they could be having hidden agendas. They just want to strip you away, strip away that independence that you have, so that they can abuse you because you now depend on them.
This is real, eh?
I can't live without you because they've loved you obsessively.
Somewhere we live, like we never existed.
Yeah, so you're being bombarded by love, gifts, etc.
I like that you've taken it to that direction because normally, especially this generation, gifting is associated with love.
Exactly.
But then, like you're saying, it could be danger.
That's why we need to keep on warning people that love is not everything. Don't marry because of love. That's a dangerous statement, and I need to qualify it some other time. Don't marry because of love. Love is not enough for you to get married.
Hey, we actually need to talk about it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Pastor Simba. We've run out of time. For those who want to reach you,
please add me on 773 000 000 773 000 773 000, or you can come to my Facebook, Married by Simba, Instagram, TikTok, and also Pastor Simba Woloza.
Thank you so much. Hanzimina, I was ghosted on my birthday. Ndagarwara, and after 3 years, he zombied me. Star FM sounding good all the time. I am V Candy. Remember, tomorrow belongs to God. Back with you tomorrow, 12 midday time.